Hello, Cougar Academy Algebra 2B, and welcome to Chapter 7.1. In this chapter, we're going to be dealing with things known as rational exponents. Really what rational exponents are exponents that are now fractions. So let's just review our exponents and our radical stuff as well. So just remember, if we have a radical, say square root of n, and that we have, we'll just put b inside, okay? We refer to n as our index. Okay, the thing inside is just the radicand or radicand. And what we also know is our new stuff is that we can represent this as b to the 1 over n. Okay, so this is the same thing as a fraction. Now, we can also see it different ways. So we could also have the index of b to the m. Say there's a power there. And then we will just rewrite that, essentially, as b to the m over n. So really, a lot of this chapter is just rewriting things, getting used to this new notation. Index is always going to be in the denominator. So notice that I'm highlighting some things here, and that will just kind of guide us through these next parts here. Okay, so write each expression in exponential form. So I want to go from radical to, this is what we call exponential form, because we have an exponent. Okay, so exponential form. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. So let's just apply what we did. So for number one here, so we don't have any m power. It's just a 1 in there. And really, all you're going to do is, so we have our index of 4. All right. We're just going to write this as 3 to the 1 over 4. Wow. Boom. Done. You're like, wait a minute. That's too easy. That's really it. Okay. There are some curveballs coming, but that's the main idea. Okay, what about square root of 7? Square root of 7, so just remember there's an imaginary 2 here. Okay, so really it's just 7, 2, there's a 1 in there, the 1/2, and you're done. Okay, so if you don't see an index, it's just defaults to 2. Okay, so 7 to the 1/2. Now, some funky things here. We have a fraction. And then, so we need to remember that fractions in the exponent world refer to negative powers. So remember, if you had something like this, it was the same as b to the negative 1/4. So first, let's just rewrite this with our exponent. Square root. Now we have a 3 on the outside, which is going to be very similar to if we have this index on the inside. So really, it's just going to be b to the 3/2. Okay, so whether the 3 is inside or outside, it's just going to be up top there. Let me rewrite that. 3/2. Okay, now the fact that it's in the denominator, that means a negative exponent. Okay, so the last bit is just to rewrite this as b to the negative 3/2. Okay, it's really considered improper, but it will actually help us later on when we do some properties here. Okay, so fix it as a fraction and then take care of the negatives. Okay, the last idea here. So let's just change this one up. Let's make it a 3 out here. Why not? Equals 1 over 10 to the 1/3. You don't necessarily need the parentheses there, which, since it's in the denominator, is just 10 to the negative 1/3. And you're done. Okay. The next part is just going backwards. So sometimes it's useful to write as a fraction. Sometimes it's useful to write as a radical. Okay. Key thing with that is, if you want to use different colors, remember your denominator is the thing that's going to come outside. Okay, so how you can rewrite this is, we know that 3 is going to be our index. Okay, and we have our radical. We'll put the 4 inside, and you can put the 2 outside. I know I made it very big here, but you can put the 2 outside there. That's just going to square our answer at the end. Okay, really, that's all there is to it. So it's really not too difficult here. 5, let's see, 6. So now we have that negative involved. Okay, don't let that scare you. Again, that's just going to mean a fraction. So first, let's just consider it, let's just keep the negative kind of away for right now. It just means a fraction. We'll just rewrite this. So our index, so 5, is going to be out there. We will have square root, you can say it's -5 technically, square root of 2, and then we'll have to the 6th. Since it's negative, fraction. So negative equals fraction. We will just rewrite as 1 over 5 roots of 2 to the 6th. Okay, and that's really about it there. To get in the habit, we'll put parentheses around it. We'll write it like that there. Okay, so fractions with negative exponents. Same idea here. Try it out. Okay, so pause, see what you can think. Remember the negative. Okay, as I go through it, I'm just going to already take care of the negative part. So 6 to the 5/3. This is another way to think of it. And then just rewrite 1 over 3 square root of 6 to the 5th. Okay, how'd you do? Okay, hopefully. Last example here of these types, 10 to the 1/2, a little curveball here for you. Just remember, 1/2 is just a regular old square root. So index of 2, 10. You could just write that as 10. I won't take points off if you have it either way. Okay, to the first, you don't need that either. Okay, so square root of 10. Last little bit, evaluate. And really, with these ones, use your calculator. Okay, I'm not going to complain or be disappointed in you if you do that. Now, there are different ways to evaluate in your head, but just get used to 81, okay, to the 3 divided by 2. Now notice I put that in parentheses. You do want to use parentheses when you put things like this into your calculator. Okay, 81 to the 3/2, hit enter, bada bing, 729. Again, use your calculator. If you wanted to be savvy, really you're taking 81 and the square root of it and then to the 3rd power. So what you're doing is square root of 81 is 9, and then raise that to the 3rd, 9 to the 3rd, 729. Okay, for our intents and purposes, calculator. 243 to the 1/5, negative 1/5. So 243 to the negative 1 divided by 5. Again, evaluating, just type it on in. Oh boy, you got a big decimal here. Just please write it as a fraction. So fractions preferred, that's just 1/3. Again, it's simply taking the 5th root of 243, which is 1/3. Okay, 11, 64 to the 2/3. If you want to try it in your head, okay, go for it. So it's the cubic root of 64 squared. Cubic root of 64. If you don't know your perfect cubes, that's okay. I believe it's 4 squared. So I'm going to say it's 16. Again, you can check in your calculator. 64 to the 2/3. 16. What do you know? Look at that there. Okay. And 11. 10,000 to the 1/4. Again, calculator, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the 1/4. Gonna guess it's gonna be 10. Sure. Okay, calculator, rewriting things, nice easy way to start out chapter 7 here. It'll get more challenging, but take that with you. Just remember our exponent versus radical form. So good stuff, guys. and have a nice rest of the day. Work on the practice problems.